Good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, whatever we are. Today we are finishing off 2019 with a roundup of my favourite tech of the year. Let me know in the comments, of course, what your favourite tech of this year has been, and don't forget to subscribe. Really appreciate it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you out there who, most of whom are probably still stuck on their sofas after the onslaught of Christmas turkeys and chocolates and sweets and all of that magical goodness. For those of you who don't know me and my chocolate obsession, hi, my name is Pete Matheson and I run an IT business based in Fareham in the UK, started in 2011. We are now 8 years later, 14 staff strong, and we provide IT support and services to small businesses across the South Coast. This year has been absolutely hectic for us. The last year our littlest was so little that she just sat there. Just remember those times where they just sat there? This year was a completely different story. We've got a 1-year-old that's walking and almost talking. We've got a 4-year-old that just doesn't stop talking. Wow, talk about exhausting. Plus they've also woken up at 5 o'clock every single day for the last 6 months, I think. It's been ridiculous. And I have no idea what causes it. It doesn't matter how late we put them to bed. It doesn't matter how early they go. It doesn't matter how quiet the house is. They always get up at about 5 o'clock. Anyway, my favourite tech for 2019. Well, one has been the one I've kept in my pocket and then one on my wrist all year round. It is the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the Apple Watch Series 5. I've not had any drowning issues yet, like I have with my iPhone XS Max, which is great. But the phone itself, it's so fast as you like. I know it's expensive, but I live my life from my phone. I reply to emails constantly. I'm on social media, taking photos, videos, of course, phone calls. It's an incredible workhorse. And the Watch Series 5 with its always on display has been great for sending probably the most important notifications to my wrist, phone calls, text messages. The number of important phone calls that I've not missed this year because it's been strapped to my wrist. And the always on display has been meant there's been no awkward arm movements in meetings or mid-conversation, making the other person feel like I'm not really listening. My next favourite tech of the year comes from Tesla and pretty much anything Tesla make. And I'm not a Tesla fanboy by kind of nature. I am a Tesla fanboy, but I don't just, I'm not one of these people that just, that. So I've had a Tesla Model S 60D for a couple of years. I then have now I have the Model S 75D, which I've had for a couple of years. It just keeps getting better and better with every software release. The amount of money it saved me compared to paying for petrol or diesel is just insane by itself. People's main gripe with electric cars actually are also the charging times, but I don't have any issues at all. I'm fully charged when I wake up, and when I do any long journeys, I'll be fully charged before I finish eating my burger. So there just aren't any issues. I also received a Tesla PowerWall battery pack for my house. It's a 13 kilowatt hour battery pack, which either charges off of solar in the summer, of course, or from cheap 100% renewable electricity overnight. And that means I can run my entire house from electricity that costs me at best nothing because I've charged up from solar in the summer, to worst case 5p a kilowatt hour in the winter because I've got some cheap overnight rates, compared to more like 13 or 20p per kilowatt hour on normal tariffs. So that means in the summer we are going to be completely off grid, which is just going to be incredible. On to other top tech for me, ultra widescreen monitors. Now I've been through a few of them over the years, as you might well have seen now. The Dell 38-inch ultrawide that I first had, the Dell 49-inch ultrawide that I'm using now as my main office workhorse, and at home I'm now using the LG 35-inch 5K. It's not curved, but it's just ultra high resolution, and I love that too, just because you can fit so much in your screen real estate. And all of them charge my Mac from just a single cable, so I literally walk up to my desk, plug in a single cable, and I've got a full-size monitor and a keyboard and mouse and things ready there. So that's been fantastic. And so much so, we've got all of the guys ultra wide screens for the whole office. Home automation, that's a constant for me also. I can control all of my lights, the heating, entertainment, the extractor fans, home security, motion sensors, light sensors, all of this from my phone, and it's all controllable by voice, with either Alexa or Siri or Google. Without getting too in-depth with what I use, essentially the software I use is called Indigo, which it runs on Mac only, and it talks to all sorts of home automation gadgets, whether it's my Fibaro light modules, my home alarm system, the Ring doorbell, CCTV systems, Plex media library, which I have connected to a 24 terabyte USB 3 storage array, just to keep all my media together. And that brings me on to the subject of networking, actually. And on one of the manufacturers that's mostly impressed me this year, Ubiquiti. And Ubiquiti sell a range of CCTV systems, fantastic. Network switches, fantastic. Wireless, fantastic. Routers, not fantastic. And they're even trying to break into more commercial products like LED lighting, which is interesting. The pricing is insanely competitive. It's getting chilly. I don't know why I'm sat in a cold, dark office in winter with just a t-shirt on. So their pricing is insanely competitive. We look at costs to just refresh the licensing on, say, the Cisco Meraki hardware that we normally do, and the costs just don't stack up in most cases. We can take a license renewal for a Cisco Meraki wireless system and instead buy all new wireless hardware for less. And there's a small difference in features, so it's not entirely appropriate for the bigger enterprise corporate environments, but for most SMEs it is fantastic value. Where they do fall down, I will say, is that their supports. We had a failed 10 gig module, which is like just a small module that slots in one of our own switches, and the response to having a failed module was we should post the failed module to them at our cost and overseas, and they would then assess the module and ship us a replacement if they saw it was faulty. No advanced replacement, nothing. So nothing like the HP warranties that we get in the Cisco warranties, where there'll be an on-site engineer with parts within 4 hours. So like I say, not ideal for the most enterprise environments, but for the smaller businesses, perfect. And it was actually cheaper for us in that instance to buy another module because of the pricing was so good. On to Microsoft. They've also released some great products that have really matured well this year. Their M365 product, for example, is progressing so well. It finally makes the possibilities to ditch owning your actual server in your own offices a real possibility. And very recent also, if you've seen their public release of Windows Virtual Desktop, that in my eyes is an absolute game changer. And it's technology like that which really makes me think it could be the future of our business. We can focus on that and really concentrate on that going forwards. Microsoft Teams, again, a powerhouse of a product. And if you're not already using Microsoft Teams in your business, you should be. You undoubtedly should be. We are going to be putting out a special offer in the new year, actually, I think, to help you set up your Teams if you're not already using Microsoft Teams. So look out for that. Microsoft Power Automate, or Microsoft Flow is what it used to be called. Again, the potential this product has is absolutely enormous. You can basically use it to automate anything, mostly within the Microsoft Office 365 ecosystem, but they do link into some kind of CRM systems and other platforms. That's, again, got massive potential. If they can catch up to speed with Zapier in terms of the integrations, it's just going to be incredible. And then to finish it off, for a fun one, I guess for me really, virtual reality, and specifically the Oculus Quest, which you might have seen me borrow from a friend of mine earlier this year. The potential it holds to have a wireless, all-in-one VR headset to spark the next revolution of gaming, and it makes business opportunities interesting too, actually. If you just imagine yourself house hunting in VR, you never have to leave your house, and you can have a full virtual tour of all the houses you're looking at. You can go to holiday destinations, you can go to hotels, all from the comfort of your own sofa. If we look into gaming, if I can go back a couple of decades, the long-awaited Half-Life 3, finally Half-Life 3, has been announced as a VR-only game, which has caused quite a lot of uproar against hardcore fans from way back when I was a little boy. But it just shows how much potential that it's got. That is my summary of the year of tech. I've been Pete Matheson. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, of course, to like the video if you did. Subscribe if you're not already. Hit the bell icon to be notified of future videos. And I'll see you in the next decade. Bye-bye.